Hi, welcome. This is going to be a fairly laid back, chill yoga session. Feel free to join in at whatever your body feels it wants to do. If you want to take it a little bit more gently, maybe you'll modify some things to a gentler stretch. Maybe you'll come up with some creative additions of your own to make it a bit stronger if you'd like to. Very much adaptable to what you would like to do, or just follow along with me. As always, we're going to start with Shavasana, so please make yourself comfortable. Lie down. You might have a pillow, a bolster, a blanket, whatever makes you comfortable. And when you're ready, just closing your eyes, settling into your space. There's no rush to get there. Take your time. And when you're settled, when you feel that the floor is holding you and supporting you and your body is comfortable, close your eyes. Bring your awareness to your breath. Feel your breath. Feel the air coming in through your nose and out through your mouth. Feel the chest rising as you breathe in and falling as you breathe out. Feel the light shift of your belly as you breathe. Perhaps you're seated and you're feeling the shoulders lift. Perhaps you're lying down, feeling the back of the ribs press into the mat as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, the whole body settles a bit more deeply into that surface. Light and soft as you breathe in. Warm and heavy as you breathe out. Light, soft as you breathe in. Heavy, settling a bit more deeply into the mat as you breathe out. Light, soft as you breathe in. Warm and heavy as you breathe out. Feeling that natural rhythm of your breath. Noticing when we bring our mind to our body, to our sensory experience, our mind gets a little quieter, a little less flighty. The thoughts are still there. They're a little easier to watch. They're less immediate, less urgent. There's less call to get up and chase those thoughts. If you find your thoughts are getting a little bit more immediate and flighty, bring your awareness back to your breath, back to the feeling of your body on the floor, back to that sensory experience of what is happening for you in this moment. In this moment, we're feeling ourselves breathe, we're feeling our body supported by the floor, and that's it, really. All those other things that your mind holds, we've decided not to do now. Perhaps it's something that's already been and done and you're just reviewing it in your mind. It has been. It is done. Let go of it. Perhaps your mind is chasing things in the future. They will get there in their own pace. Most likely we'll be ready for them. If not, well, we won't be. But right now is not the time to do those things. Feel your body. Feel your breath and let those other things go. Let yourself be in this moment, present, with just what you feel in each moment. Bring your awareness down to your feet and feel your feet in this moment, not rushing around. Feel your toes. Feel the soles of your feet, the balls of your feet, the instep, the outer edge, the bottom of the heel. Feel the tops of your feet. Feel the air against your skin or the fabric against your skin. Feel the weight of your feet resting on the ground, dangling from the ankle as the ankle releases. Feel the bones and the muscles through your feet. Feel the whole of your feet. The whole of your feet, heavy, floppy, soft. Just notice. Bring your awareness to your legs and notice your legs. Perhaps they're lying along the floor, perhaps they're draped over a bolster. Just notice. Feel the clothing, the blanket if you have one. Feel whatever sensations you feel against your skin. Feel the heavier warmth of the muscles, the calf muscles soft, heavy against that surface. The shin muscles warm and soft on either side of the bone. Feel your knees, space behind the knees, the warmth of the muscles that run through the knees. Feel your thighs, those big heavy muscles that carry you around when you're busy. Now still. The top of the thighs, heavy and soft. The back of the thighs, warm, heavy against that surface that's holding them. Feel your hips, the hip joints still. The muscles that wrap around the hips, soft and warm. The whole of the legs. The whole of the legs, heavy, floppy, soft. Bring your awareness to your hands and notice your hands. Feel the light curl of your fingers and the warmth through your palms. Feel the sensations along the back of your hands. Your hands heavy. Feel the surface that they're resting on. Soft, heavy hands. Warm, still hands. Just notice. Notice your arms. Feel the way your arms rest on the ground. Perhaps they're resting on your body. Feel that support from underneath. Feel the air or the fabric against the skin. And the deeper warmth of the muscles. Feel the muscles through the forearms, warm and soft. The elbows still, the muscles of the upper arms, heavy, warm. Feel the weight of your arms drawing your shoulders down, the shoulder muscles releasing. Feel the muscles along the front of the shoulders, long and soft. Top of the shoulders, heavy. The back of the shoulders, soft, settling against the mat. The whole of the arms and shoulders, warm, heavy, soft. Feel your torso. Feel the way your torso is supported, perhaps the back against the mat, perhaps resting against the wall or a chair. Feel that support, the muscles releasing. Feel the back muscles heavy and warm and soft. Feel the way the spinal column shapes your back, drawing it more heavily against that surface in some spaces, lightly away in others. Perhaps feeling that energy down the spinal column, following the nervous system. That nervous system reaching out through those muscles, through the muscles that wrap around the side of your torso, through the muscles of the belly and the abdomen, the muscles of the ribs that move gently with the breath, and the chest long as the shoulders drop away. Feel the energy of that nervous system reaching in through the digestive system and those other organs that we don't quite feel, we just feel their warmth. Up through the lungs, moving gently with your breath through the heart as it beats. Feeling your torso, muscles supported, the warmth of just being in a living body. Just notice. And notice your head, the weight of the head supported by the floor or the wall, perhaps a soft give of a cushion underneath. Feel the neck muscles soft and the warmth of the muscles that run up through the scalp. Feel your face. No one to smile at, no one to frown at. The muscles soft, forehead soft, cheeks soft, jaw soft. The whole of the body soft, warm, heavy. Allowing yourself to simply feel, to be supported, to surrender to this moment. Nowhere else to be, nothing else to do. Just this moment. Let yourself simply be present. Just be. Just be. Really good. Nothing to do yet. Take a moment, just notice the easefulness of letting go from it. The body supported. Also letting go of the mind, letting go of the busyness of the thoughts, those thoughts still there. More able to watch and let them drift. Or perhaps you even noticed a deeper stillness. Whatever the case for you, just notice. And when you feel ready, bring your awareness back to your breath. Notice it deepening just with that mental activity of listening and starting to think again. Start to wriggle your fingers and your toes, getting a light movement. And then just gently exploring, letting that movement take you wherever your body wants to go. There's nothing we have to do, just explore whatever feels appropriate for your body. And then when you feel ready, let's shift to a comfortable position where we can lie flat on the ground. And we can just bend our knees. Arms are wherever they feel comfortable. Back is supported with our knees bent. And we'll just take one leg up to the ceiling. Bring your arms behind the leg and give it a little bit of support and just bring it in gently to a light stretch along the back there. And then circle the ankles. Just moving gently through those circles, feeling a joint move. Back in the other direction. Feeling the muscles shifting to make that movement. Good. Let's bring that leg in a little bit closer. Still a gentle stretch, nothing strong. And circle the ankle again. Perhaps feeling a little bit more strength through the front of the shin. And back in the other direction. Good. And then gently bring that stretch in once more. You might shift the position of your hand to go onto. So we've still got a gentle stretch, it's nothing strong. It's just a bit more intense than the last two. Good. Breathing here. And then just bending the knee to release that stretch. Let your leg shift wherever it feels comfortable as we bend and straighten that knee. Just lightly moving the joint, lightly moving the muscles. You might like to circle that joint. And back in the other direction, making small circles with the lower leg. And then shifting into the hips, circling the whole leg. That leg might be quite bent, it might be quite straight. And back in the other direction, just shifting that hip joint, feeling the muscles shift, feeling the muscles through your belly and your back support that movement. And then let's tuck that knee in. We'll straighten that other leg and press that foot away from you. Draw that knee in and lengthen out into that stretch. Good, nice and long. Pausing here, still breathing. Always keeping our breath slow and long. Good. Light squeeze through our belly. Let's straighten that leg and slowly with control, lower it down to the ground. Come back to your Shavasana, taking a moment here just to close your eyes and feel your body. Perhaps one leg feels a bit longer or more active than the other. So the body's quite fine with that. It's only the mind that really objects to being non-symmetrical. And when you feel ready, we'll step both feet up again. And we'll take the other leg up, just supporting the leg with our hands so we can come into a light stretch and circling the ankles. And back in the other direction. Good, bringing that leg in a little closer, just lightly deepening that stretch and circling the ankle again. Might be a little bit harder to do now. And back in the other direction. And drawing that leg in just a little further into that stretch. Again, not strong, not aching, just gently increasing to where you feel a little bit more intensity. Something we can breathe through, something we can hold without scrunching our face up. Good. And then gently bend the knee. Release the leg so it can move to wherever it's comfortable for that knee movement. And gently circling from the knee, just small movements. And back in the other direction. Circling into the hip. Just moving that leg in any way that it feels comfortable to move that joint. And back in the other direction. Good. And then tucking that knee up to the shoulder. Let's straighten out the other leg and push that foot away from you. Draw this knee up to the shoulder, just lengthening out. Soft breath, just holding that long stretch for a few moments. Light squeeze through the belly to support our back as we straighten that leg and start to lower it. Lowering slowly and gently back down to Shavasana. And again, take a moment to close your eyes. Let your body be soft. Just pause here, perhaps feeling a little bit more active through the whole lower body now. Perhaps noticing your mind starting to get a bit busier as we move. Come back to the breath. Come back to the feeling of your body on the ground. Just being present in each moment as we move through our practice today. Let's bend both of our legs again. We'll bring our arms out from our shoulders this time and just dropping our knees down to one side, looking in the other direction. Inhale to center and exhale through to the other side. Inhale to center and exhale through. Good, let's come through so that we're even on both sides. And when we come back to center, let's come back down to the first side and just drop our knees down and pause here for a moment. Let the legs shift to where you're comfortable. If we stack them up higher, it's a stronger twist. If we let them slide out, it's a gentler one. And then let yourself go. Let the floor do the work. Notice if you're trying to lift yourself up into that twist. Take a deep breath. And as you breathe out, just soften all of those muscles. Good. Let the floor do the work of holding you. There's nothing to do. Nothing we need to make happen. Just breathe. Good. Let's gently inhale to center and exhale through to the other side. And again, soften down here. Let your body find where it wants to hold and just ease out. Let the floor do the work. Let the muscles be soft and heavy. Let yourself simply breathe. Good. Coming back to center. Let's step our feet mat width apart and gently drop the knees to one side, looking in the opposite direction. Inhale to center and exhale. Good. Just to your own breath. Let's go to one more on each side. And then when we're finished, we'll come back to that first side and we'll just hold that static stretch. So gently shifting through. And just stopping on that first side, let the legs release. Release the hips. We don't have to push them up into that twist. Let them drop. Soften the shoulders down. Good. Slow breaths. And just feeling your body in this pose. Good, gently coming back through center and down to the other side. And again, let your body settle here. The other day we were talking about this and we decided holding the pose isn't quite the right words. We want to release and let the floor hold us. So we decided settling into this pose. A much better description, settle in. And coming back to center, let's tuck our knees up to our chest. Keep the abdominals slightly active as we drop our knees to one side, head to the other. Squeeze the knees into your chest as we come through center and down to the other side. Inhale to center, down and through, just your own pace. Let's finish up this one. And we'll come back to the first side. And again, let the legs drop. You might find that you shift the legs a little bit more in this one. Let both legs shift wherever that is to where your hips can release. Drop that shoulder. Good. Take a deep breath in, let it out, and let all those muscles release. Nothing to do but let the floor hold us and breathe. We'll tuck the knees into the chest as we come up and over and through to the other side. Find where your legs rest. Let that back shoulder and arm drop to the ground. Just breathing here, soft, heavy. Release. Good. Just breathe. Tuck those knees into the chest, squeezing in as we come back to center. Wrap your arms around your legs. Nice little back massage, just easing everything out. Let's take one leg in our hands, straighten the other leg out. Press the small of your back into the floor and press that knee into your chest. Tuck your chin in, round your shoulders, try to bring your forehead towards your knee. Good, holding here for a moment. And then we're going to press that knee out and away, straightening the arms. Let that knee keep on pressing. Press the small of your back in. You might just come a little way. You might be able to roll all the way up to a seated position. If you rolled up, great. If you didn't, you might use your hands or rock up to a seated position. And then we'll come back down, round your back. Press the knee out and away and try to press the small of your back into the ground before you even get there. So we're using those deep back muscles and those deep abdominal muscles to hold us as we roll down. Using our quadratus lumborum and our transverse abdominis, rolling down vertebra by vertebra, slowly with control. Good, and if you went a little bit faster than slowly with control, that's okay too. Let's swap legs. Take the other knee up, straighten that leg we were holding down. Press the small of your back into the floor and tuck that knee into your chest as tightly as you can. Tuck your chin, lift your head and shoulders, trying to bring your forehead towards the knee. Holding here for a few breaths. Press the small of the back down. Good, and then press that knee out all the way into your hands until they straighten and it starts to pull. We might come a little way, we might come up all the way up to seated. Good, slowly and smoothly as you can, or just lifting or rocking yourself up to a seated position, and let's come down again. Round your back, try to press your belly button down to the ground and press that knee out into your hands so it anchors you. rolling down as slowly as you can. Good. Nice and slow. Still deep breathing too. Good. Tuck that knee and let's bring that other knee up. And another little back massage, just rolling everything out. Bring your feet to the ground, hands beside us, palms down on the ground. And again, press the small of the back down, tilt the hips. And this time we're rolling up, still vertebra by vertebra, lifting off the ground, rolling slowly. You might come really low, you might come really high, wherever your body wants to take you. Take a nice big deep breath at the end and then rolling down vertebra by vertebra. Try and follow your backbone. So we're going to try and press our belly down and our hips up. So we get the small of our back down and then the hips and tailbone. Good. Take a slow breath here at the bottom. And then let's come up again. Press the small of the back down, tilt the hips up, rolling up. Just your own pace. You might do it all in one breath and do more than I am. You might follow me doing slow breath. Good. Whichever version you do, take a breath at the top, just holding that pose for a full deep breath. And then rolling back down, vertebra by vertebra. Tuck the hips up. Try to get the small of the back down first. And then release the hips and take. Good. We'll do one more and then we'll hold at the top. So rolling up. Good. Nice and slow. Or fast if that suits you, but following your own body's needs too. Once we're here, let's hold for a few breaths. Squeeze through the hips and the legs to hold. Shoulders stay soft. Might like to bring your arms up above your head. If you do, press the back of the hands into the floor as we unroll. Coming down vertebra by vertebra and anchoring our hands up there will bring us into a nice long stretch. It takes a little bit more abdominal strength to keep the hips off the ground before the lower back hits. Gently releasing the tailbone. And you might keep pressing your hands into the floor while you straighten your legs, coming out to a nice long stretch. Release the hands so we're just lying here nice and long. Nice big breath in and let's bring the arms over and exhale. Inhale up and over. Point the toes away as you do, lengthening out. And then exhale. One more. And exhale, release. Good. Take a moment just to rest in your Shavasana again. Feel that energy through the whole body. If the thoughts have gotten busy while we did that movement, come back to this moment. Feel your breath, feel your body. Experience for its own sake. Nothing we need out of it. Let's gently flutter our eyes open again. We're going to roll over onto one side. Now this might depend on your shoulder and your elbow on where you want to be. You might like to lie down with your arm out, or you might like to lie with your elbow underneath you. If you have your elbow underneath you, make sure that we're not sinking the shoulder forward. When we do that, the only thing holding us here really is our ligaments. They're taking all the weight. We don't want that. When we push our shoulder back and lift our ribs, you'll feel all of these shoulder muscles and chest muscles and belly muscles holding you. So the whole arm has that support. Let's take that top leg and just bring it towards you. It might be more down to the knee. It doesn't matter. Wherever you feel comfortable. Lifting up through the ribs. Good. And then we're going to lift that bottom leg off the ground. Beautiful. And we're just going to pulse it. Now you might pulse up and then down to the ground and rest, or you might keep it off the ground for some little pulses. Don't let yourself sink. Keep up nice and tall. Of course, if your arm is down, you don't have to lift. Good. and lower that leg down. Let's take this top leg. I'm going to take my toe because that's where I prefer it. You might prefer to wrap around the inside of the leg or even just hold the shin. And we're going to tuck that knee in towards our shoulder and start to straighten that leg. Good. Now here, this is a good stretch. Here, this is a good stretch. Here, this is a good stretch. Or push the hips forward, shoulders back and leg back. Here is a good stretch. Find your stretch. Don't sink down into that shoulder. Good, breathing here. And if you're doing this lying down, your stretch might look slightly different because it's a slightly different hip position. Good, let's bend that knee. We're going to take the ankle or the foot and just start to bring it around behind us. Now, the knee forward and up is a gentle stretch. The further down and back we bring it, the more we're stretching into that quad. If you find this pulling all the way down into your knee joint, bring it forward and up a little bit. We've gone a bit too far. Find your stretch. You might like to lower that arm down so that you can just be nice and comfy here. Good. Now from here, you might like to stay here and just roll onto your back when you're ready, or you might like to roll over. For an extra challenge, you might like to try and roll over without flopping. See if you can control that roll really slowly with your core muscles. So we're rolling down nice and slow with control the whole way. Good. Once we're here, again, you might just stay with that stretch. You might still be on your side holding that stretch. This one might not suit you. Or you might lift up the straight arm and leg into your half bow. Find your place to be. There's no place we have to be. Follow your body. And release. Let go of that leg. If you're still on your side, just roll over gently onto your belly. And let's take a moment just to be soft. Let the muscles release. And again, just like before, you might notice one side of your body feels different to the other. That's okay. The mind does like to dwell on it, doesn't it? Your arms out in front of you. Just going to walk our arms up into a nice gentle back bend and back down. You have your legs wider, this is easier. Have your legs close together, it's a bit harder, and of course, however far you walk in is up to you. Find your place. You might even just walk in just a tiny bit and drop your elbows. Find your space to be. Work with your breath. Inhale up and exhale down. Last one. And exhale down. Good, let's come up and hold. Roll the shoulders back and down, lift your chest. You can drop down onto your elbows and do a sphinx if you'd like to. Good, and release. From here, you can use your elbows and knees to come back to a child's pose or lift up through your cobra. When we come back to a child's pose, we're going to bring our big toes together, bring our knees out wide, wider than the mat even. Drop your hips, and then you might rest on your elbows with your head on your hands, or you might bring your arms out for a bit of a stretch through the back and the shoulders. Dropping down to your space, breathing. Good. Use your hands to walk your way up, bring your knees in. Then we're going to come down onto the other side. Again, you might just lie with that arm down, or you might be up on your elbow. If you're up on your elbow, don't drop the shoulder forward. Pull it back, lift up through the ribs. That top leg comes forward to wherever it wants to be. And we'll just lift that bottom leg up. Good. Again, try not to sink down, up and tall. And you might drop that leg for your pulses, or you might keep it raised and just making some little pulses here. Using the inner thigh. Good. If you feel like you're just waving your leg around, lift up tall and really squeeze the inside thigh. Good. And release. Let's take that other foot. Wherever you can hold your leg is fine. Tuck the knee into your shoulder. Don't droop. And then straighten. Or not straighten. Does it matter? No, it doesn't. Wherever you feel a stretch is fine. And if that's here, that's fine if you're feeling a stretch. What is not fine is to sink that shoulder down. Pull it back. Make sure that the muscles are supporting us, not the ligaments. And we might push the hips forward and the leg and the shoulder back to lengthen that a little if we're feeling it. Good, just being okay with where you are here. If you're pushing, ease back just a little. Lovely, if you can smile, that's fantastic. Let's gently bend that knee. Shift a hand to find the foot so we can come around into that stretch. Now we can stay here. We can slide that bottom arm out so we can be nice and comfy. Leg forward and up is gentle. The further back and down we bring it, the more we move into that quad stretch. Find where your joints want you to be, not your mind. If you're feeling pulling into your joints, we've gone too far. We've gone past what the body will do. Just feeling it in the middle of that thigh is great. Oh, I'm finding a bit of a balance problem on this side. Good. And again, you might stay here on your side. You might just roll over onto your belly, or you might see if you can do that slow, controlled roll, really squeezing through. Judging on my balance on this side, I might not be able to make it on this side. And that happens, and we use our body differently from side to side. Good. And once you're down, again, you might stay on your side and not roll over until we're ready for the back movements. You might stay here just in that gentle quad stretch, or you might lift up into your half bow. Breathing here, finding your space to be. Gently release the foot, release the back, and just soften down into a rest pose. Taking a moment again, you might notice that the body feels a bit more even now. And we don't really notice that with our mind. We notice when it's not even. When it's even, our mind just goes, oh, that's better. What's it finding better though? It's finding that sense of uniformity, that sense of having its expectations met. Let that go too if you can. Good. When you're ready, let's just come up to our Sphinx pose. Elbows under our shoulders. Drop your belly and hips. Lift your chest. Roll your shoulders back and down towards your hips again. Now you might stay here for our back bend. You might lift your legs up and look up. Don't strain, just look up a little bit. Or you might reach around and find your feet and lift up into your bow pose. Whichever move you're doing, focus on the space between your knees and your shoulders and think about squeezing all of that space to make it smaller. Good, breathing here. And gently release. Good. We're going to use either our elbows and our knees or pressing up through our cobra to come back to that child's pose we did before. It's actually a hero pose variation. Toes together, knees out, drop the hips. You can have your elbows bent and rest your head on your hands so you can come all the way out. Good. Breathing here. Let the floor hold you. Release the shoulders. Release the hands, release the hips. Gently walking your way up, back to a seated position. Any seated position that's comfortable for you will move when we're ready. For a moment, just come to a seated position. Take a nice big breath in and exhale, release. Good. Taking that time just to let the body adjust. Let the floor hold you. Feel your breath. When you're ready, just softly and gently flutter the eyes open. And let's bring our elbows together. Let's make some circles through the shoulders. Good. Just a couple in each direction. You might go really fast. I prefer to go slow. Let's go in the other direction. That way I can really feel the movement. I can really be centered, just with that feeling of the body. Good. And let's stop all the way up at the top. Roll the shoulders back and down. Try to bring your elbows behind you. And gently release. Good. Now let's bring our legs out. And we'll take our elbows again. And this time we're just going to bring them right up. Roll the shoulders back and down. Try and press the shoulders back and try to tilt your hips forward slightly as you squeeze your elbows back. Good. And then we're just going to, from here, make some circles. So we're going to tilt to one side, and then we're going to fold forward down past our knees. As we come up, bring the armpit up as well as the elbow. Good. Now you can come just up straight. You can come back with a slight lean, holding with your abdominals, or you can, for a stronger pose, come back, push your belly forward and your shoulders back for a stronger movement. Good. Just keep on flowing, whichever variation of that back movement that you want to do. Try to keep your arms back behind your head. Try not to let them sink forward. Good. And back in the other direction. Same thing, just different direction. Remember to roll that armpit up. Find your way to come back. Last one, we're going to stop in that forward position. Coming all the way forward, drop your belly. Lift your chest, lift your arms. Good. And then gently release. Undo the arms, let them flop, just softening down here. Let your legs be a bit soft. We don't have to really hold here. Just a nice soft fold. Let yourself breathe. Good. And gently walking your way back. From here, we're going to bring our legs in. Just bend our knees. I'm just going to turn sideways so you can see what I'm doing a bit more clearly. Let's hold ourselves with our hands, wherever that's comfortable for you. We're going to take one leg and just place it on top of the thigh. Feel free to use your hands. You don't have to if that leg goes there on its own. And then we're just going to sway from side to side. Good. Just feeling that movement. See, that bottom leg will come in a bit closer. Good. If it doesn't want to, it doesn't have to, that's fine. If those arms will come in a bit closer. And again, they don't have to, and that's fine. If you're up as far as you're going, that's good, just stay there. We're going to try to take the ankle in our hands or our elbow and the knee in our hands or our elbow. Tuck that knee in, try not to hunch. Lift up nice and tall. You can keep this knee bent or you can straighten it out, whatever suits, and give your baby a nice little rock. Good. Sit up tall. That's it. Breathe. Adjust to where your body will hold you, not something that's making our face scrunch up like that. Good. And let's release. Let's do the same thing on the other side. So bring our legs back up. That leg might come up on its own. We might use our hands for some help. Give a nice little rock. Oh, I can see the sole of my foot. I don't see that very often. Good. Maybe that bottom leg will come in a little closer. Maybe it won't. Don't force. Maybe those arms will come in a bit closer. Or maybe they won't. Again, don't force it, because wherever your body's going to go to today is great. To try to sit up tall, hands, one elbow or both elbows, hug your baby and try not to hunch, try to sit up nice and tall. This bent leg can stay, gives us something to rest on, or we can slide it out. It's actually easy to straighten your back up if you slide that leg out, but it takes a bit more hip flexion to hold the leg here, so much of a muchness. Find your spot. And gently release. From here, there is an option to find that pose again. So you might like to just find whichever variation of that pose worked for you. Or you might like to take that leg under, sweep that back leg around, and lift up into a pigeon. Again, and if you're going to come into the pigeon through your more traditional way, that is fine too. We're not really focusing on it too much today. Find a comfy one. See if you can tuck that leg up, slide back a little bit, and drop the hips a little more. Good. And if you're just doing that rocking pose that we were in before, see if you can walk in a little bit closer for a moment. A little bit of a challenge, not forcing, but just a little bit of a challenge. Good. To come out of the pigeon, we drop the hip, we gently bend that back knee and sweep it around. If we were in that other position, we're going to take that foot under the knee. We're going to take this top foot around to outside the knee. If that's too strong, feel free to straighten that other leg. Good. And from here, sitting up nice and tall, the same hand as that bottom leg wraps around the knee. You can come into the elbow or bring it to the other side if you'd like to. Let's lift up nice and tall and take that other hand behind us. We want a nice tall back. So again, we don't want to hunch over. Nice tall back, drop the shoulders. Looking gently over your shoulder or a little forward. But don't try to look all the way past your back. Good, just breathing here. Wherever your twist takes you is fantastic. Feel it. Breathe. Good. Let's gently release that twist. We're going to come all the way through to the other side. Now, if you've just at this point discovered you've turned the wrong way, that's okay. Just turn into the twist on the other side for a moment. Just do the same thing on the next side. Good. And release. Let's straighten out that bottom leg and the top leg. Give them a nice little wiggle. And then we're going to do one of those two things again. It might be here. Now, whichever leg you had before, try and do the other one. If you've forgotten which one that is, probably, no, I can't feel much of a difference. Never mind, just try your best. Or if we're doing a pigeon, that foot comes under and around. We lift ourselves up with our hands. You can't lift yourself up without your hands. There's a lot of strength and we're not going that way today. Lift the knee up, slide the hips back and lift your chest. So we're trying to focus on the hips rather than the back bend, sinking down as low as you can. And if you're all the way on the ground, wonderful. Sink into a nice even seat. But if you have your foot on your knee, see if you can walk in just a little bit closer. See if you can find just a bit of a challenge. Not a strain, not something that's really hurting. Just challenge yourself a little more deeply into that hip flexion. Good. Let's drop the hip if we're in the pigeon. We bring that leg around. And if we had that foot on top, we take the foot underneath the leg. We don't move that bent knee. And then we slide that foot around. You might find yourself adjusting a little bit, or you might find yourself straightening that other leg for a gentler twist. Good. Same hand as the bottom leg. The hand can come around, the elbow can come around. We might bring the arm all the way around. Find your twist. Same hand as the top leg comes up, lift up tall, and then sweep it behind into your twist. Good. Don't hunch back down, lift up nice and straight, drop the shoulders. Good. Just breathing here. Just finding your twist. This side might be a little twistier than the other side. This side might be a bit straighter and feel a little less comfortable in the twist. Find your twist for this pose. Present in this pose. Good. Lovely, we're going to release it, just come all the way through to the other side. Nice breathing, just for a couple of breaths. And then gently release. Let's unwrap the bottom leg if we twisted it up. Unwrap the top leg, give them a nice little wiggle. And coming back into a straddle. You probably didn't need to move around. You probably just needed to open your legs into that straddle, which is fantastic. Let's point our toes towards us, press our thighs down. Perhaps you even find your heels lifting off the ground slightly. Notice whether your hips are tilting back or forward. Might just swivel around again. If they're tilting back, we're rounding our back like this. If they're tilting forward, the hip bone is coming in towards the thigh, our tailbone is coming out behind us, and our whole back is tilting forward whilst being straight, not like that. Good. If you can't tilt forward on your own, bring your hands behind you and see if you can just press your hips forward. That's it. And then just use your hands to adjust to wherever you want to go to. If you have no problems bringing your hips forward like that, we can keep on coming down to wherever it is that you want to be with a straight back. We don't want to come down and round, so we're not pushing for as far back as we can. Now, it may be that with your back straight, you can get all the way to the floor. But just come down to where your back feels straight. Now, at some point, you're going to notice, oh, I feel a stretch along where your bra strap goes, or where your shoulder blades, just under your shoulder blades, if you're not wearing a bra. Lift back up if you feel that stretch. We want to squeeze up there. Good. And release. This time we will come down into our folds, a nice big lift. And just folding down, we can be a little bit floppier, a little softer. Let the back round if it wants to. I mean, we don't want to hunch, but let yourself drop into that forward fold. You might bring your hands out to your legs, wherever it is you want to be. And release. Walking your way up. Let's bring those legs in together. Bend the knees, and you might roll down with your core. You might lower yourself down gently with your hands. Either way, rolling down onto your back. Take a moment here. Let's tuck our knees up to our chest. Nice little roll out, easing out your back. Slide down inside your legs. You might hold your shins, you might hold the back of your thighs, or you might be able to reach around the instep of your feet. Tuck your knees in under your arms. Lift your feet to the ceiling. Take a moment here before you start rocking. Just lie flat. Good. And notice where your back isn't touching the ground. See if you can drop those areas. For me, it's my shoulders and the upper back. Good. And then if you like that rocking feeling, go ahead and rock. If you don't, just stay here, trying to get your back soft and heavy onto the floor. Let's take our legs out straight. If you can find the toes, grab the toes. If you can't, just wherever you can grab your legs, and let's just straighten our legs out. You might have them wide, you might bring them in together. You might like to swap this for a shoulder stand. Feel free to drop this and move into your shoulder stand if you'd like to. That suits your practice. But if you're in a shoulder stand, stay there. If you're holding here, let's release the legs. Just bring them up. Bring your hands underneath your hips. Just a little rock under your hips. And let your legs find where they kind of float a little bit. Breathing here. But if you shifted to a shoulder stand, now's a wonderful time to gently come back out. Slowly, gently, with control. Let's bring our legs down to the ground wherever we are. And if your hands aren't under your hips, just gently pop them underneath your hips. Bring the soles of your feet together, drop the knees out. Now you might just stay here, letting your ribs lift a little bit, or you might press down and lift your ribs a lot, dropping your head back. Whichever one, again, suits your practice. If it was a little bit, just a slight lift of the shoulders. Try not to put all of that weight on your neck. Let the elbows do the work as well. Or just lie still. Both great options. We're still working with a stretch and a slight bend because our hands are under our hips. Good. And gently release. Release the hands. Turn the palms up. Let the knees drop and pause for a moment here in your Supine Baddha Konasana. Slow breath. If you'd rather bring this out to Shavasana at this point, please do. Gently bring your knees in. Tuck them up to your chest. Nice little back massage. Feel that you would like to just come back out into Shavasana for your meditation, feel free. If you're moving somewhere else, move slowly and gently. You might bring your legs up against the wall. You might come to a seated position. You might just grab a blanket over your knees and settle yourself in on the couch, wherever you feel supported and comfortable. Now, that doesn't mean that we have to be completely relaxed like Shavasana. We just need to be soft and able to sit comfortably. So whatever position that suits you. Don't rush. Move deliberately with awareness on your movements, the same way you've been moving through your physical asana practice. That's got it. Slow it down. Move gently, feel. Whether you're still moving or whether you're in your position, bring your awareness to the feeling of your body. Feel the floor underneath. Feel that light tingling of your muscles having moved. Perhaps today's practice had some challenges for you. Perhaps it was just a really soft, gentle flow that left you feeling just nicely loose. Your experience is just that, your experience. But our mind says, no, I should be having something else. I should be doing what other people are doing. I should be experiencing what other people are experiencing, or some made up experience that our mind's generated on its own. That's rubbish. Let it go. Just feel yourself in this moment, whatever feelings you have in your body. You might find there are other times, particularly at Christmas, where you find you're trying to experience something that is not happening for you. That, take a few moments just to breathe. Perhaps you've got the space around you to sit quietly and close your eyes. Perhaps you don't. Perhaps it's just a few breaths where you really feel your body with your eyes open and people around you. Your time to come back to that mindful awareness. Next few minutes, you might just stay here, just with that mindful awareness of your body and being present in this moment. Or you might let go a little bit more deeply into your meditation practice. Whatever practice you're doing, mindfulness or meditation, the only thing you need to do in this moment is sit with your body supported and breathe. That's it. Nothing else you need to do. Let go of anything else that you don't need. Just sit. Just breathe. Just breathe. Really good. There's nothing to do yet. Just take a moment and notice Perhaps the last few minutes, your mind full of busyness. Perhaps the last few minutes, your mind quiet and still. Or most likely, noticing the thoughts drifting, but not getting caught up in them. Allowing yourself the space to coexist with your mind being busy and that deeper stillness of being mindful and present. Perhaps, just perhaps, we can take that off our mat today. The case for you, when you're ready, bring your awareness back to your breath. Let your eyes open just when you're ready to, and we'll take 3 deep breaths. A nice big deep breath in, filling your lungs up. And just a soft and gentle. Good, we'll do that 2 more times, just your own pace. And when you finish your deep breath, just let your breath come back to its normal breathing patterns. When your breath is back to its normal breathing patterns, let's just bring our hands together in prayer and a little bow to each other for sharing our practice today. Thank you for sharing your time with me. A bow to yourself for having your practice. And a bow to the universe, remembering that we're all a part of something beautiful and wonderful. And namaste. Thank you very much. Hope you have a lovely Christmas and New Year. And if you're watching this at some other time and it's not Christmas and New Year, well, don't let that stop you from having a good year ahead either. Have a happy year. Namaste. Thank you very much.